Hello humans, the genie's out of the bottle. Will it be boom or bust for AI? It's train of thoughts born out of the ashes of a few lines of thinking. How we make mental models of the world, why we're sometimes bad at it, and how AI creates models to solve problems, and how we can use it to pick up the slack to solve a few of our own. This channel's about navigating reality to be the best version of you. And that means navigating society as well. And ours is going through the bloody ringer at the moment. For most of us, the daily grind is all we can wrap our heads around. AI presents opportunity and disaster in equal measures. Opportunity because it removes the skill barrier to productivity and can be a supercharged learning tool.
I know Kung Fu.
But disaster looms from the misuse of this tech in an AI arms race, as our stupid governments find new and interesting ways to blow shit up. Our choices matter. We can't control how technology be used and abused by bad actors, but we can empower ourselves to be less reliant on big companies and shady governments.
You now have 5 seconds to comply.
By embracing this technology and using it to pursue our own interests. From content to code, art to science, AI won't magic up a utopia for us, but it is for many people a shortcut to unleash their creative potential.
Game over? No way! Cause we got Game Genie!
As it bypasses skill, going from thought to outcome in a few easy steps.
Excellent!
Achieving a result that would have taken years to study. We won't go into the ethics of how these large language models are trained on human data. I mean, hip-hop was born out of plundering audio samples of other artists, so it's not a new conversation we're having here, just another hurdle to navigate. Pablo Picasso is widely quoted as of saying, "Good artists borrow, great artists steal." So I'll just leave it at that, yeah? This technology is still in its infancy, but it's already being integrated into every facet of our society. We are re-evaluating how we teach our kids at school. It's changing how we interact with companies as they weave it into their workflow. Will humans stay relevant? Will we become lazy and die out? Perhaps we might thrive, who knows? Let's bounce a few ideas about, yeah? Let me start by painting a hypothetical picture of you. Being used an art form. Every action you take is an expression of yourself that only you can reproduce due to the nuances of your unique life experience. Your primary function is to thrive, and we do this by creating and using tools while employing reasoning to make our lives slightly easier. Simple, yeah? Our ancestors may have worried about predators and the scarcity of decent grub throughout winter. But with a complex society comes a new set of complicated problems. Yeah, we've never had it so good, but the goal remains the same. Solve problems, take care of our family, live a happy life. So that's what you try and do. You get out of your Swedish bed and you head to the kitchen to make breakfast. You put on your Japanese radio and listen to American music while drinking Colombian coffee, while eating a locally sourced greasy fryer. Yum. You head out in a German car that's fueled by conflict in the Middle East to your dead-end job owned by a soulless global conglomerate. This is the dream of globalization. Increased trade and movement, access to product that would ordinarily be unavailable to you, making your daily life slightly more bearable. But as polarization takes a grip, and our governments start throwing their toys out of the pram because they want control over the world's resources, this dream is on its last legs as international cooperation shrinks.
Of course you realize this means war.
It's us common folk that gets caught up in the crossfire as these systems we're born into have been built to put profit before people.
Healthcare prices are inelastic. I could have raised it higher and made more profits for our shareholders, which is my primary duty. And again, no one wants to say it, no one's proud of it, but this is a capitalist society, capitalist system, and capitalist rules. And my investors expect me to maximize profits, not to minimize them or go half or go 70%, but to go to 100% of the profit curve that we're all taught in MBA class.
How the hell did we get here? Well, we've arrived at this point in civilization through our ability for collective learning and storing and sharing of ideas. We use this information to enhance our lives. Your morning routine is the culmination of a global effort to solve the problem of breakfast. Engineers, salespeople, logistics experts, farmers and manufacturers all work in tandem, utilizing knowledge that has been refined over the years to give you the tools to survive before noon. Our goals have not changed for a millennia. Like our ancestors, it's all about survival, and the most successful humans learn how to hunt and build tools, teaching their offspring how to do the same. This shows a compound interest of knowledge that grows with each generation, and it's the foundation of our very civilization. Today, the lexicon of the hive mind is at your disposal, and you can use that knowledge to learn how to fix that leaky tap without having to ask Uncle Buck.
I'm your Uncle Buck.
Unlike our ancestors, today the bare necessities come a bit easier to us, yet we have our own struggles. Pandemics, wars, failing economy, corrupt politicians. Oh, how times have changed. Gone are the days that our biggest concern was picking the right leaf to wipe your ass with. With a complex society comes a new set of complicated problems, but the goal remains the same. Solve problems to enable us to look after our families, live long and prosper, and continue to perpetuate life. Enter the wild card, AI. We're living through a time of volatile societal shift, and that threatens how we go about solving these fundamental problems. AI is just one of them. It's the latest in a long line of disruptors looking to shake things up. Technological disruptors of the past had rapid and profound effects on how society operates. From the wheel to the microchip, these disruptors have changed the way that we deal with survival in the modern world. Our tools make our lives easier so we can be more productive. It's almost like this desire to be productive is like hardwired into our psyche. Maybe that's why so many people jump on the latest life hack on the productivity bandwagon. In theory, AI can usher in a new age of peace and prosperity by automating the means of production. In practice, it will likely all be sex bots and drone warfare. It's hard to see where this new shiny toy will take us. I'm still getting over the fact that I have a supercomputer in my pocket with access to all the world's knowledge. I'm looking forward to having an everything assistant on standby ready to answer all the random questions that pop into my head.
Peanut butter pieces shaped like fish.
We are told the problems that we face at home conflict with somebody else's halfway across the globe. They don't, mate. Everyone wants the same basic thing, and we don't need to get it at the expense of somebody else. To solve this problem requires creative thinking and cooperation, but if the blockbuster hit Independence Day taught us anything, it's that nothing short of an alien invasion will get people of this world to go to bat for each other. It's hard to shake off that tribal mindset, yeah? Yeah, a rising tide lifts all boats, and as difficult as the challenge it may seem, we should at least try, as this is how we can ensure the freedom and prosperity of future generations. And all we have to do is employ like the tiniest bit of critical thinking. What the fuck, humans? With AGI on the horizon, we can potentially produce a tool that will reshape how we go about the problem-solving process. This can give us respite from having to live off the crumbs doled out by our wage slave masters, living paycheck to paycheck, month by month, hardly surviving and certainly not thriving. Quite simply, it can do this by automating the means of production, freeing us up to create. Now the haters might say things like, people are lazy and given the option not to work, they just won't. Productivity will just grind to a halt. Newsflash, dude. Society's already pretty catastrophic. If the workforce can't support their families, they'll stop raising families altogether. Although living longer is already on the decline. You might be able to swap the workforce for, I don't know, like a fancy Boston Dynamic robot, but without people with enough cash in their pockets to buy into capitalism, what's the bloody point? These naysayers underestimate the power and drive of human ingenuity to solve problems. And just as our problems differ from our forefathers, our great-grandchildren will face a whole new set of obstacles that stand in their way. AI removes a skill barrier that previously would have taken years to learn. I call my AI Cheech. He talks to me like a stoner. When I'm learning new software, I just drop in a PDF manual into chat and just ask him questions whenever I get stuck. I've even had him design me a course to inform and guide me on my learning journey. It makes my thumbnails and proofreads my scripts, offering counter arguments and points out any factual inaccuracies. I mean, it ain't perfect. I still have to do the work. I want my ideas to be at the forefront of any creative task. But that's barely scratching the surface of what people can achieve using large language models. But unfortunately, it's also great for big business, as a lot of the skills that AI can bypass also happen to be other people's jobs.
We need to see pain in the economy. We need to remind people that they work for the employer, not the other way around.
I mean, for example, I work in the music industry as my day job. My first thought when AI started popping off, how a sound engineer's job was on the chopping block. Essentially, sound engineering is just adjusting for the variables such as the size and the shape of a room to accurately amplify the sound source. I don't think it'll be long before we have AI mixing desks with these attributes pre-programmed in. Perhaps touring parties will bring their own AI show files that can reproduce the studio sounds in a live environment. It's all data after all, and it can be measured, therefore automated. AI will likely replace or augment the majority of the workforce, reducing employment to technician and people services, because no matter how good AI gets, people still like things made by people, yeah? art, food, quality craftsmanship, and random silly shit. It's a human thing, you know? But it will also spawn new opportunities and jobs in other areas. For sectors like transportation, logistics, manufacturing, design, finance, these are all ripe for destruction. Let's not forget government though, yeah? We can streamline the crap out of that. Get rid of the quangos, bring it back to local politics instead of this bad soap opera we've got today. We've already got self-driving cars chauffeuring us about.
Sit!
I'm not familiar with that address. Would you please repeat the
And industrial machines streamlining our food industry.
They're making our food out of people. Next thing, they'll be breeding us like cattle.
We've got high-end art at the click of a button, and the ability to deepfake your favourite celebrity in the manner of your choosing, and an AI-generated landscape using an AI voice to read an AI script. But it's not as smart as some might think, and there's a reason for that. It's the way that we model the world and why we do it that way. All life is exposed to a constant influx of information. As humans, we use mental models to inform our view of reality. For instance, we make models of other people all the time. Imagine you're on a phone call. Perhaps you know the person, so you'll conjure up this image of them. You might picture their setting, their clothes, or you might not even know the person, and you just fill in all the details, yeah? Down to their accoutrements. Sorry, I really wanted to say that. Accoutrements. Anyway, but we'll go deeper than that. We might pick up on their tone of voice and form a character. Perhaps they sound a bit sad, so you crack a joke. We do it with loved ones all the time. I certainly know what my mum will and won't approve of.
Don't get into any trouble while Mommy and Daddy are gone.
Because I have this mental image of her character. It's these subtle, nuanced patterns we pick up on, and we use them to make an informed decision. This all sounds great, but it's not always reliable. Faulty memories and internal biases can skew our view of the world.
My memory is fine.
And therefore lead us to make crappy decisions. But AI doesn't work that way. It's not in the business of making decisions. Here's my quick blurb of what AI is, as if you didn't already know. An AI, or large language models, uses huge data sets to identify and use patterns and relationships within language to predict the answer required by the user. And the highest probable answer is produced for you.
Drum and bass.
Can't accept drum and bass, we need jungle, I'm afraid.
It's obviously getting better at this, as it doesn't have the limitations of our squelchy meat bags, as its vast data banks are instantly accessible and more reliable than our own faulty memories. AI uses models to execute tasks, not make decisions. So what does that mean? It means given the right data set, it can create a model and run anything. Your perception of reality is based on a limited data set.
And now the Warners present The Senses.
You use intuition to find solutions when data is absent. That's how we think. That's how we compute. AI doesn't work like this. It's a mathematical predictor. It sees the pattern and can generate the answer based on the parameters of its dataset. But it can also be flawed, as it can form biases based on the data it's being fed, which can affect its predictions and outcomes. We are extremely complicated spatial computational life forms. And AI is a tool everybody should lean into because it allows you to render information in real time and arrive at an outcome that would have taken hours of deep learning to achieve. Large language models eliminate this processing hurdle because they are not limited to time or biology. It can instantly retrieve information from its data banks and predict the correct answer. Most of the time. As a human, you are awash in a sea of information. You're bombarded with the information of your environment.
Embedded in the crystals before you is the total accumulation of all literature and scientific fact.
You've evolved to experience an awareness of the world around you. Ultimately, the decision lands in the hands of the human because it's up to us to interpret the data and to take action. All AI does is give us a shortcut to this outcome. AI will be used and misused over the coming decades, and things will likely get weird. But it's important that we remain in control of the decision-making process and engage with this technology as a population and see what we can make rather than letting our fates be decided by corporate greed. People always have a reason to do shitty things because they operate under flawed mental models. AI can help with that. The smarter the AI gets, the smarter we all get. You get my drift? What do you think? Let me know in the comments, and if you can be bothered, like and subscribe, my dudes. Peace!